Hello and welcome to another video. Thanks for clicking on the link. It's a wee bit of a strange one, this Scarborough and Starfort. My disclaimer first off, I'm not from Scarborough, I'm just a tourist. I spend a couple of weekends a year there, but it's a place that's really sparked my interest since I first started going there again, which was 2 years ago. Today I want to talk about Scarborough Castle really, but in a slightly different context, but how I got round to this castle. As I found with this journey, since I started, the first thing about, mud floods, it's took me down so many different avenues, buildings I had no intentions of looking at, suddenly I started researching, and it took me away not just mud flood evidence, but design evidence and all sorts of things. I first got interested in this place. I've done a video about it, so I won't harp on. It was 2 years ago, long before I'd ever heard the word mud flood. I stopped in the building. It wasn't a pleasant experience, but the building gripped me. It really did. Superstructure. I wanted to find out more. When I started tracing back the history, it didn't match up with what we see. The second place I started to go after was this building here. It's a museum now. Lovely sandstone house at the bottom there. And I didn't believe the official narrative of this place either. I might be going to it on another video, but you have tiny evidence here of buried windows, and there's buried windows down here somewhere. But when I was looking for evidence for this, and this is how the point I'm trying to make, how I totally get pulled off in different directions, I came across this image. Same tower, same sandstone building, but what the hell's all this down here? And that led me totally away from this building over here, which I don't really have much interest in now. It was big purpose-built aquarium. You can see the size of it inside here. Absolutely stunning place. But when I started to trace back the timelines of things and looking for evidence of when it was built, I mean, this is it in Victorian times. All that what you've just seen, it's all buried below here. All this is part of the same complex. So, I mean, I've done a video on that. You can, go away and view that. Tells you more about how I discovered and what I've discovered. Starforts, here we go, the interesting bit. Starforts are a new phenomenon that I've come across. I've got no knowledge of them really, apart from the fact they're in every country in the world, just about. Some countries more than others. I mean, Holland is just absolutely littered with hundreds upon hundreds of them. I think this one's from Holland. The origins of them, I mean, that's just spectacularly stunning. The origins of them, it varies from country to country and who built them and what they were for. But the truth is, nobody knows. This is the complexity. This again isn't nothing in this country, it's outside this country. But this is a plan of one of them. It gives you the complexity of it. And if you're interested in this type of thing, go away and do a bit of research. People that actually have done a lot of work on these things, because I don't have a clue. Apart from looking at a few pictures, I don't have a clue about them. This is the UK's equivalent, basically. This is Berwick-upon-Tweed, this one, I think. You can see that it is definitely a star fort, and they're not trying to say it's anything else but a star fort. But the other important feature with these star forts is the water. I mean, on this side you have your sea, and then you have your river inlet here. I think this is down on the south coast. It's a little bit sort of posher, more modern, more maintained, and this is just a tiny one somewhere in this country, I don't know where. And it doesn't look much more than a farmstead really, but it gives you the general idea. They're in every country in the world. How does it fit in with Scarborough Castle? Well, the strange thing is, I've been up to Scarborough Castle a few times over the last 2 years with all intentions of going in, but I don't know. I just didn't go in. I didn't really want to be stood looking and reading historic narratives that maybe aren't true. Not that I'm saying anything about this castle, what they say in history. You know, I'm not saying any of it's not true. It's the things they don't say that really interest me. This is a star fort. Oh, where have we gone again? Let's see if I can blow it up a bit. This is a star fort found in the UK. It's only small, it's not one of the big elaborate ones, but as you can clearly see, it's a star fort. You know, I don't think anybody would argue that fact. But the thing I have with it is, nowhere over the past, I don't know, 36 hours, I've tried to find some reference or mention about it in this country. I've been to numerous star fort websites. I've been to English heritage websites, I've been to castle websites, and I can't find any information about this star fort whatsoever. Now, the interesting thing about this star fort is, it's about the only word that I can read on this, but it's Scarborough. Now, what I'll do, I'll flip the image over so it'll be easier to reference what I'm trying to explain. If anybody can actually read what any of this is, I'd be grateful. I've tried to blow it up and enlarge it, but I can't read any of it. I'll flip it over, whack it down to size, and what, if it'll work, will it? There we are, Scarborough Castle, as it is today. This is a Google map view of it. And what I want to do is just bring up that image next to it. I'm going to blow up just a little bit. I'll show you what I'm trying to say. Your bottom point of your star fort is here, somewhat disguised. Your top point of your star fort is here. And this part of your star fort has actually fell over the cliff. Now, I've actually videotaped a bus ride from North Bay around South Bay, just to show the topography really, where you've got all the mud and that round here and trees and grassland. You get round the end and it's solid bedrock. And as you can see, you know, you can have a look on Google Earth yourself, all where the point of this would have been has actually fell over the cliff. You can see all the boulders down there. Now, I really, you know, I'm at a loss with it, because that is clearly Scarborough with the star fort. But I can't find any reference whatsoever anywhere of Scarborough having a star fort. So has it been lost, you know, in the bowels of time as such, or has it been hidden? Because for me, you know, there's so few of these in the country, I would have thought it would be, you know, a massive selling point for the town. I mean, especially towards the late 70s, early 80s, when everybody was going off to, you know, Spain and Mallorca and places like that. They weren't going to these coastal resorts. Scarborough went into a hell of a decline, like all coastal towns, and a feature like this, you know, I think there's only about 12, 14 in the country, for a very, very small fishing town to have such a splendour, such a feature, would be a massive selling point, I would have thought. I mean, people do go around looking at castles, and especially specialist castles like this one clearly is. And really, it's, let's say it's strange. It's a very strange one. I can't find anything, but what wouldn't surprise me, you know, maybe my overactive imagination, but I have had a lot of experience working with local authorities and trying to disprove or prove things that aren't mentioned or go against official narratives. So if this has been lost in time, it wouldn't surprise me in a few months' time if Scarborough Archaeological Society or something, you know, discover a map and discover the new fort or whatever. So if that's the case, well, they didn't. You know, you heard it here first. But I'd really love your thoughts on it, because it's, for me, it was one of like those eureka moments that I couldn't quite believe. Now I've got no. The thing is, it was late one night when I downloaded that picture, and I've got no idea where the picture come from. I've tried the history search on the image itself, and it just goes back to a general Google search. I have no idea where the images come from, but it does clearly match up Scarborough Star Fort with Scarborough Castle. You know, I'm not pulling the bits of the narrative of any of the timelines, going right back to, I think, Bronze Age people that were on that site. For some reason, it's a very important site. Why, I don't know. Just in answer to Martin, I got your call out on one of your last videos, mate, about the bombardment this town has took during the wars. And what I find strange is why it's took so much bombardment, because there's nothing there to bomb. You know, it's a fishing town, for goodness sake. There's a lot of stuff that we're uncovering. Who knows, maybe the bombings were there to try and destroy some of the evidence. I mean, just one day alone in 1914, December it was, there was 500 shells hit this town, supposedly. But you can zoom out on Google Earth for yourself. You know, there's nothing here to protect. There's nothing there to protect. They say it's a good vantage point for the protection of the coast between the Tyne and the Humber. Well, if there was a local river somewhere around this area, you could understand that, but there's not a river for miles away. So anyway, it's all up in the air with this one. If you do start hearing stories about it, you more than likely heard it here first. Because I can't repeat myself, but I can't find anything about the place. Nothing at all. So any help whatsoever, I'd be really grateful. And, you know, shout out to a few of the people. You know, there's me friend Rebel Without a Pause, and there's Martin, you know, and there's Phil, and there's Jax, and there's so many people that are just taking out the cameras and photographing things that don't look right. And it's amazing the results that people are doing just by doing that. And by sharing the information, you know, we help to build up a bigger picture. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I'd really love your thoughts about this one, because it's freaking me out a little bit at the moment. Anyway, I'll catch you again. Bye.